Hi guys, I'm just making this video to let you know what you need to bring to Kili, as in terms of your kit list. I'm one of your group leaders, Kirsty, and I just thought this video would be quite useful to help you know what to buy. Obviously, because after Christmas and the January sales is quite a good time to start purchasing bits and bobs. So let me get started. There's one important thing that you definitely need to bring, which is walking boots that are worn in. They don't need to be particularly expensive or like a really good brand or anything, as long as they're waterproof, have a good bend in the sole at about that point, and they have ankle support. And if your feet hurt really easily like mine do, it's a good idea to make sure that they have arch support in the inside, which is quite handy because you will be standing up and walking for very, very long periods of time. You also need a soft shell bag of some kind. I opted for a rucksack. You're looking at about a size 60 to 80 litre to fit in everything that you need, but you don't need to, if you don't have a rucksack, you don't need to purchase one. You can also use a duffel bag. It doesn't really matter as long as it can be like squished into any kind of shape, because the porters will be carrying this and they put it in their porter bags anyway, so it doesn't matter if it has back straps or anything. Next on my list of important items is a rain jacket. Now, some people said that they thought that you'd need like a really thick, like duffel kind of coat. Most of my group just bought a shell rain jacket that's just waterproof, and then like you don't need to again spend a lot of money on this. My mum got it in the sale for me for £20, just as long as it keeps water off you, and this like will also keep the wind off of you, because it can get quite windy obviously when you're in clouds and stuff. Yes, we'll be walking through clouds. Ooh, exciting. Next thing you need are 2 fleeces, specifically one thick and one thin one. I got this one with the rain jacket for £20. So this is just a standard fleece. I would say that that was a thick fleece. So I brought that with me, and I also brought a micro fleece with me, which is a very, very thin, like just kind of, I don't know how to describe it. If you know what a micro fleece is, good. If not, Google it. But I couldn't find that to film this, so I've just decided to show you a thin hoodie. It's very, very thin. Just again, to keep you warm, because even on day, you won't really get cold walking until probably the night that we reach the summit, that we're walking to the summit. But obviously when we stop for breaks and stop to eat, it can get quite chilly, so it's nice to have like something thin that you can put in your day sack to just keep you warm. That's another thing I need to mention, a day sack. So a day sack should be about 25 to 30 litres in size. It should also have a section to put a camelback in, and then the hole for the straw to go through. Now I rented a camelback last year, and I didn't particularly like it. I preferred to use the bottle that I brought myself. So you have to be able to carry 3 litres of water with you a day, so I'm just going to buy 2 more of these. Nalgene is a really good brand of these, because like they're temperature resistant, so on the summit night your water tends to freeze. These are quite good. Mine didn't really freeze that much. It did get a bit icy, but it was like having a slush puppy, which was alright. So I'm just going to get 2 more of these, but if you would prefer to have a camelback, go for it. It's up to you. Sorry about the sun on my face. The sun is setting. Now, in terms of other warm clothes that you might need, apart from the fleeces, is a thermal hat. So a good brand for this is Thinsulate. So I just got a woolly hat that has a fleece lining inside. And again, glove liners. I just bought simple black ones last year, but I decided to purchase some Thinsulate for next year, so they're again like the hat, woolly on the outside and fleecy on the inside. You also need, on top of that, waterproof mitts. I do have 2 of these. I could only find 1 for the purpose of this video, but you do need 2. This is just say if it started heavy rain. We were really lucky, it only rained once and it wasn't for that long, not particularly heavy, so we didn't really need these, but I would bring them just in case, because obviously you can't really predict the weather. So yeah, I bring these. You also need thermals, so I just bought a thermal top and thermal leggings, which I also slept in the thermal leggings, and then I bought this while I was actually in Africa from a charity that came to speak to us. It's like the Kilimanjaro Porter Assistance Project, which helps the porters with terms of having the right kit and stuff, because they don't get paid particularly well. So I just bought that to sleep in, and I also slept in a hoodie because the nights are quite cold. On day 1 you can kind of get away with just wearing gym stuff, so I just wore a gym top like this. It wasn't this specific one, but it was like this, and I wore leggings, but I think this year I'm gonna wear some gym 3/4 lengths. So yeah, you can get away with wearing those probably for day 1 and day 2. Day 2 I'd bring a hoodie in your bag because it can get quite cold when you stop, but you could get away with wearing that for the first 2 days. I also, for the last couple of days, wore long sleeve base layers. So I have this one and this one, which is the exact same brand. They were really cheap. I think I got them from Sports Direct or somewhere. They were, I think, £8 each. But again, you could probably get them cheaper somewhere. I also brought walking trousers that cut off at the knee so they can get turned into shorts. A lot of the people wore these on the first day just as the shorts, which you can do as well if you're not comfortable in gym wear. I didn't really find these that comfortable, so I didn't really end up wearing them, but it's up to you again. So after that, for day 3 and day 4, I just wore thermals and waterproof trousers. So they're basically big baggy tracksuit bottoms. I think these were actually my dad's because I didn't want to spend any more money, so I just borrowed a lot of it, like the waterproof mitts. My dad's a big golfer, so I borrowed a lot of his stuff, like because he's well into his weatherwear. So don't plan on buying everything. Try and beg, steal, borrow what you can, because it can get quite expensive. You can do it cheaply if you're savvy about it, but it can get quite expensive. Oh, I skipped this when I was talking about the hats and stuff. But you also need a scarf. Now, I wanted to save room, so I didn't bring a scarf, but I brought a fleece-lined buff. So this is just an option to save space. So it rolls up really thin, and you just pop it over your head and neck, like so, and it can go over your mouth because it can get pretty cold on the last night. So you just wear it like that and look like you're about to burgle the mountain. What else? Socks. You need socks. We were told to bring 6 socks, but I'd bring a couple spare to sleep in and a couple spare, say if your feet get colder than you expect or something. So you just need standard walking socks. These are actually thermal socks, but the walking socks will kind of look like this, but they will have a thicker bit of wool here and on the heel, because those are the bits that wear easier, quicker. Some of the people in my group also wore sock liners. I didn't bother, and I only got 1 blister the whole time, so I wasn't really that affected by only wearing 1 pair. The only night I wore 2 was on summit night, so I wore a standard pair like this, and then a really, really thick pair of heat holder socks that I got from Go Outdoors, which I think were £8, which sounds really expensive for 1 pair of socks, but my feet get really cold really easily, so I thought it was best to opt for something warm on that day, and it paid off. My feet didn't get cold. Next thing you need are toiletries. So I just got a wash bag. I had this already from a trek I did previously, and I liked it because you could like hang it up if you needed to in the tent. It usually has a mirror that sticks there, which is quite handy, and it's got loads of different sections that you can put stuff in. Now the toiletries that I would recommend are obviously standard, like deodorant, because you will smell after a while, because obviously you have 6 days of not adequate sufficient access to sanitation. So a lot of baby wipes as well to clean yourself. You do get access to hot water, like a bowl of hot water 2 times a day, like usually in the morning and in the evening. So I would recommend a nail brush, just because it is quite dusty. The Mashami route particularly, because Kilimanjaro is a dormant, is it dormant, or I don't know the right word, but it's a volcano, but it's not active. There's volcanic ash everywhere, so like it's very dusty, the route. So your nails, especially if you're a girl and have like longer nails, they do get very, very dirty very, very quickly. So a nail brush is quite good, because obviously you don't want to eat with dirty hands. I would recommend sun cream as well. You can't really survive without this. I burnt so badly because I was so bad at remembering to put it on. I brought a factor 30 and a factor 50. I would recommend a factor 50 for your face, because it's so cold, and because you're so high up, the sun is very, very intense, and it's very severe on your skin. Like my whole bottom of my face from my eyes down got chapped because I kept on forgetting to put sun cream on, and that's not ideal when you're about to spend a week in paradise of like sun on a sunny island afterwards, because you can't even like expose your face to the sun because it's so like sore from the mountain. So remember to put sun cream on, and remember to bring lots of it, because I probably didn't bring enough, to be honest, because this aerosol can was quite good because you could just spray it on, but it doesn't contain a lot. So I would recommend bringing maybe 2 bottles, because you need it for the holiday afterwards anyway, so you may as well bring extra just in case. What else? I bring toilet roll, because obviously you're not using proper toilets on the mountain. They are holes in the ground in a shack, or you're just going out in the wild, like behind a rock or a tree lower down. There's not really any trees up high, but you can go behind a rock or a cliff or something. So I'd recommend toilet roll. You can just use baby wipes, but I prefer to save my baby wipes for my face and my hands, and just to clean myself rather than my undercarriage. So I would recommend some toilet roll. You could probably just go for one yourself. It's not like you're going to be going a lot, but yeah, I'd recommend one of those. What else? On the subject of toilet roll, you will have to carry all of your used toilet roll and things until an available dump space is available. So if you're going to the toilet, if you're going for an HOE along the way where there's not a toilet, you can't just dump your toilet roll, because who else will pick it up? So carry lots of plastic bags with you, because otherwise it's just nasty to not have anywhere like sufficient to put it in. Also, they're quite good for when you want to separate clothes, and like after the trek, obviously your boots will be very, very dusty from all the volcanic ash, so you can pop those in a plastic bag to keep the rest of your clothes clean. On the subject of separating stuff, I would recommend purchasing some stuffed dry bags. There was a lot of surface water in the camp areas when we went, and I was so like happy that I had my stuff in these rather than just in my bag, because I reckon they would have got wet regardless, like if I had them separate. One of the hoodies that I did bring with me, I left out of a dry sack, and when I took it out of my bag it was wet, and because it's so cold it won't dry until you are down at the bottom. So yeah, I'd recommend a couple of these. I had 3 with me, and I think that was enough. You are provided a sleeping bag and a roll mat this year, but if you find it particularly difficult to sleep on the ground, then you could opt to bring an inflatable air mat, you can get a Thermarest, or you can get a cheaper version. A Thermarest is probably about £70 to £80, which to me is an unnecessary expense. I got a version, I think, for £12 from Asda that was fine for me. It did me justice. It's so dirty now, I don't know how I'm going to clean it, but like, I wouldn't mind investing another £12 for another one. It's not the end of the world. But the sleeping bags, obviously, you will be using that other people have used, and I found it. I was renting one last year. Luckily, you don't have to rent it this year; they're just provided. But I found it useful to have a fleece liner for my sleeping bag. It was just a bit of extra comfort inside the sleeping bag, so it's fleece lined, and it really did make a difference. It made me so much warmer than. I get really cold at night, so this was a real comfort for me. An added extra, I don't know where it is. I can't find it. There's some stuff that I don't actually have with me that I want to talk about. Another thing I forgot to mention, a small towel just to dry your face, say after you've washed it in the hot water, or your hands, or just, yeah. A dry towel is a small. This is a specific, like, it's like a quick dry one. It's like a micro towel. It wasn't how I expected. I don't think it's worth the money. I think next year I'm just going to bring a flannel, because it's not really a towel to me. It's just kind of like a sheet of cloth. So, and I think I paid about £8 for that. Not worth it. Just bring a flannel. Okay, now I want to talk about some stuff that I don't have on here, but I need to mention. Oh yeah, spare shoes for the camping area, because obviously wearing your walking boots, even when you don't have to because you're just in camp, can be a bit of a nuisance. So bring spare shoes to wear in camp. I bought UGG boots. I bought an old pair, so I didn't mind them getting so dusty and dirty and stuff. And I'd recommend UGG boots because they do really keep your feet warm, because it can get cold because you're not moving as much when you're in the camp, and it's really easy to get quite cold, so UGG boots were kind of an ideal thing for me. Some other people just brought like espadrilles and stuff, but to me I don't think that'd be warm enough. But espadrilles are ideal if you don't have the space in your bag for something as bulky as UGGs. What else? Medication. You will get headaches, because your body's not everyone will get headaches. Altitude affects everyone differently. I got really bad headaches, so I would recommend ibuprofen. It's an anti-inflammatory, it helps headaches. Paracetamol too, because just it's handy to have, but I'd recommend ibuprofen more than paracetamol if you're choosing between the two. Last year we were told about Diamox, which is an anti-altitude sickness medication, and we weren't recommended to take it. 2 girls that we were with did take it, and they didn't get as bad altitude sickness as the rest of them. So I'm going to take it next year. It's up to your personal preference. Speak to your doctor about it when you're getting your malaria tablets that you also need to get. You can get a cheap version of malaria tablets from Asda, which are £1 a tablet. But if you go to your pharmacist, you'll be charged, I think it's like £2.39 a tablet. So it's up to you which one you want to go for. I'd always go for the cheaper one. But when you're getting those tablets, speak to your pharmacist about other medication like Diamox. I'm definitely going to take it this year because I got quite severe altitude sickness. But I'm not telling you to take it. I'm telling you to speak to your doctor about it. What else? Oh, spare shoelaces. Definitely. Spare shoelaces are a must. Mine didn't break, but could you imagine if they did? It's always handy to have a spare pair just in case something were to go terribly, terribly wrong. Earplugs. It can get quite noisy because the porters stay up quite late doing stuff, and everyone goes to bed at different times. I wouldn't recommend going to bed later than you can possibly go to bed. I would recommend as soon as they say bedtime to go to bed, because you will really feel it the next day if you sleep less than you should have. I forgot to mention a head torch. You need a head torch. There is no way you could survive without a head torch, especially on summit night, because you do the last bit of the trek to the summit at night. you need to be able to see. Also, the toilets aren't modern. They are a shack with a hole in the floor and don't have any lights. And also moving around your tent at night, getting ready for bed, getting your day sack ready for the next day. You need light because otherwise you won't be able to do it. Spare batteries for your head torch. I would recommend, I can't find it, but I bought a solar charger. Now, mine wasn't particularly good, but it still helped charge my camera. It didn't work for my phone because there is really good signal on the mountain. So if you fancy a chat with your mum, it will cost a fortune, but you can do that. So what I'm going to do this year, I'm going to bring the solar charger, but I'm also going to bring one of those battery packs that has like 5 or 6 charges already on it, so you can use it 6 times to charge your camera or phone or anything you need to charge, which is quite good. I should have mentioned this when I was mentioning sun cream, but I would definitely recommend lip balm. Like I said, the whole bottom of my face was chapped, so your lips will also get chapped, so you definitely need lip balm or Vaseline or something. What else? What else do you need? Also, you need underwear. For girls, I'd recommend sports bras rather than regular bras because obviously you're being active, you're walking uphill for however many hours a day. So definitely sports bras over regular bras. Wide-brimmed sun hat. Now, I didn't bring one with me because I was like, oh, I won't use it. Like, I'll look like an idiot, blah, blah. And then on the border, me and some of the people I was with, we saw, like, there's loads of people selling touristy stuff at the border between Tanzania and Kenya, and we saw these like explorer hats which were green and like a proper wide brimmed hat that said Kilimanjaro on it, so the inner tourist came out in us and we all bought those, and I am so glad I brought it. I would have regretted not having it, especially because I did sunburn so badly. You need something to cover your head. A lot of the people last year just bought baseball caps, and I think I might bring one next year just because it's a bit easier to put on, like it's not as like constricting. Sunglasses, you definitely need sunglasses because again you're so high up that there's not as much UV protection, so obviously it's hard to see with the glare from the sun sometimes, so I definitely recommend having sunglasses. I think that might be it. An added extra I would say to definitely bring is a hot water bottle. You can get hot water from the porters every night, and I used to put it at the bottom of my sleeping bag by my feet because my feet feel the cold so much. You don't need to bring a hot water bottle. Some people just use their water bottle, especially Nalgene ones because they're temperature resistant, filled it up with hot water at night, and use that as a hot water kind of bottle thing. It's actually a hot water bottle, so more aptly named. And then in the morning, because it was boiled, it was sterilised, so they could just drink it straight without having to purify it. Something I forgot to mention, you need purification tablets for your water on the mountain. Because the first day you're provided with bottled water, so it's fine, you can just drink that. The second and third day, I think they bring water from the bottom, so it's not sterilised, it's not anything, so you need chlorine tablets or water purification tablets to purify it yourself. I stopped purifying it halfway through day 3 because I knew that they sourced water from the mountain, and obviously we were on the mountain, so it was quite pure near the source, so I just drank it. People might think I'm an idiot for doing that, but it's up to you again, personal preference. Like, I was fine with doing that, like, but if you're particularly worried about getting a waterborne disease, don't do that and purify your water. Anything else that I forgot to mention? Toothpaste, toothbrush, standard. Yeah, dry shampoo. Your hair, obviously you're not washing it for 6 days, so it can get quite greasy. Even if you're a guy, dry shampoo will work for you, and it's pretty good. most of the girls in my group just French plaited their hair the whole time to keep it off their face. It is quite windy, so you will need to redo it every day. You can't just keep the same ones in. But yeah, I think I'm going to do the same next year. Just, it's quite handy. You don't have to worry about it when it's off your face and stuff. And yeah, just do that. Anything else? Oh yeah, obviously you need a passport. You'll be quite happy. I don't know if it's just me, but I really like filling up my passport. Like, my aim is to have a full passport. Like, a full passport's like a sign of a full life or something. So I was really, really happy to discover that the journey from London to Kilimanjaro filled my passport. 4 pages of my passport. So I was so happy. I was like, oh my gosh, that's 4 pages. And obviously going again next year, that's another 4 pages. So I was well happy with that. So yeah, if you have any questions, I think I've mentioned everything. What we did is, it's good to pack all of your Kilimanjaro stuff in your day pack, which most people use as their hand luggage, because if your luggage were to get lost for any reason, you'd at least have most of the stuff for the trek, so you'd be sorted, you wouldn't be delayed going on the mountain and stuff. And then all of their Zanzibar stuff or safari stuff would go in their luggage. I wouldn't recommend bringing a lot of clothes to Zanzibar or safari, because a lot of the clothes you'd wear on safari you'd have on the trek anyways, like those walking trousers that you can cut off to be short, your walking boots, sun hat, sunglasses, so you wouldn't need a lot for that. And Zanzibar again, you'd just be in swimming costumes and like not very many clothes for however long we're there for. So I'd recommend minimal packing for that. I definitely overpacked. I probably didn't wear even half of what I brought, and I regretted it because I had to carry all of that weight, like when we were commuting to places and checking it in and lugging it around. So it was just, I wish I hadn't brought as much, and I'm definitely not bringing as much next year. Anything else? Yeah, like I said, if you have any questions, just message me or comment on this video and we'll have a chat about it. Thank you, and good luck with your fundraising, and I can't wait to meet all of you. I haven't met all of you yet, but I will meet all of you at some point in the near future, I hope. Yeah, look forward to fundraising with you. Bye!